Hey guys, this is Matt Cleese from Loon Outdoors. Today we're going to be tying a little March brown. In the vise is a 315 and a Stonefly clinger head from Flymen Fishing. 50D Veevus thread is my typical go-through for most tying. This is a little bit more of an attractor March brown. It's a really wide gaped hook. Hopefully helps you with the helps you with the hookups. We're going to be using some 0.20 lead-free wire. Since this is a clinger mayfly, I want them to have a nice wide flat body. And you can see what I'm doing here is I'm inserting that wire off to the side and I'm running it down the side of the hook. And once I have that, I'm going to reinsert on the other side and do kind of the same exact thing. So nice flat body. So there's a cool little flatness there you can see. So it's nice and flat. We're going to put in a third and fourth piece as well. Those are going to kind of go up like you're creating a pyramid, and that's going to help create our tail section. You can see I'm just cutting the non-lead wire with the 50D GSP. So right now I've added a bunch of weight. I've also stabilized that head, and I'm just doing some securing wraps, making sure everything's right where I want it to be. These little tungsten heads have some really cool little eyes on them, makes it look realistic. I'm going to take wraps back down into the deep bend of the hook here, since this is kind of more of a competition styled hook, or a really cool new school Scud hook if you want to think of it that way. I am going to go ahead and color up my thread, and that's because of the body materials that I'm using. This is some scrap Coq de Leon. It works great for tails. It's good, durable, bomb-proof material. And you know, if you're only tying nymphs with it 3 at a time, it's not really you're not really going to go running through an expensive package of Coq de Leon very quickly. I find that it is more, durable than some of the alternatives like, mallard and stuff like that. Those are a little bit more delicate of a material. See, I try to keep the wraps super even, kind of smooth. With 50 GSP, you don't really need to worry about it. It takes a lot of the guesswork and untwisting of your thread out of the thought process. So this is some tan body quill. Body quill is one of my favorite materials for creating mayfly bodies. Keeps them nice and thin. They do have delicate bodies. I'm just going to go ahead and double this up. And lash it down the side. Again, it's a clinger style, wide flat body. This family of mayflies, they like to cling to rocks and stuff. So having a flat hydrodynamic body probably helps them out with that. So I'm going to take my I call it a butt wrap and go from there. And this is some bleached Peacock. It's kind of like a cream color. It is going to get colored up, and so it'll take marker pretty well. And I'm going to go ahead and tie that in. And this is going to be sort of for like gills. What I do is I just fully wrap this forward. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to overbuild your body of your fly or anything like that. And I'll just go back to where I want my thorax to start. give it a quick trim. And we're going to take this and kind of create body segmentation and some of the gills that these mayflies have. Again, this is a super effective pattern for European nymphing or underneath an indicator, so it's really just kind of your speed as to how you like to fish. Might be a little bit heavy for a dry dropper unless you're fishing like a big foamy golden stone or, you know, salmon fly pattern, something like a chubby Chernobyl. So next up, I'm just going to introduce my brown marker. You could have used some brown material, but I want a two-tone body, and I want it to look a very specific way. You know, darker on the back, lighter on the bottom. So you can see I have a light bottom and a darker top. Next up, I'm going to use some Fluorescing fly finish and a flow viscosity. If you have regular flow, that will work too. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of stabilize this whole body material using UV resin. And you can see a lot of that fluffiness kind of gets knocked down. And I'm going to use the infinity light today to go ahead and cure. Make sure I have a nice solid cure throughout the whole fly. And this is just some Scud back. I'm going to use that for my wing case. So I don't pull any tension on it when I'm tying it in till the very end. Then I'll pull a little bit of tension just so that I can ensure that the whole piece is going to sit in there properly. This is some more of that little Red Fox Squirrel SLF fiber. I seem to really love this dubbing. It's a cool colorway. It has a lot of good tones, and for my area here in Northern California, seems to really work well for our local trout. This is some Senyo Shaggy dub in a medium brown. They say this is a dubbing, but I find it makes for great mayfly legs. This super flossy, life flexy material that's in there. I mean, the stuff just moves, so you really can't go wrong. So I'm going to do 2 legs on each side, not anatomically correct by any means, but it gets the point across and they wiggle, so fish seem to enjoy that. Next up, just a smidge of dubbing. And I'm going to work right up behind the bead. And you can see I take a securing wrap and then I pull a little bit of tension on that on that Scud back. That way I'm sure it's kind of getting down in there. And I'm not doing too much to the point where I'm going to, you know, damage it. Same brown marker, comes in, saves the day, makes the wraps look right. And I'll go ahead and throw a wing case over this with some fin. And I'll go ahead and cure that really quick. And we'll trim the legs and call it good. Hope you guys enjoy the pattern, find it a way to use it in your arsenal, catch some fish, and we'll catch you next time.